Okay. Let's just start off this video like, that was an experience. And that's how I can say this anime. It was an experience. So yes, as the title says, I have watched Redo of a Healer. Now, let's preference this. I went into this show, I've watched episode 1, 2, and 3. And I came into this show knowing enough that I knew this was like fucked up. Like, people were like, yeah, it's worse than the Goblin Slayer first episode, and the Goblin Slayer wasn't that bad. And I'm gonna be real. And it's worse than the and with a bitch more detestable than the red hair girl from Shield Hero. I don't remember the name of her. I just remember she was detestable. I remember that everybody hated her. Okay. Now, I will preference. I accidentally watched the censored version of episode 1 and episode 2, so I did not have much of a reaction, I guess. I didn't have that much of a reaction. Yeah, but I got the full context of the scene. It was censored, but I got the full context of the scene. So, like, all the biddies were blurred out, and the movement was actually blurred. So, in the first episode, when the maid comes in for the, it just saw her taking off her clothes. Then a black bar came into the screen. It just looked like a slideshow for a minute, because it was just a frame and then another frame, then another frame. So yes, I accidentally watched episode 1 and episode 2 uncensored. I watched episode 3. I watched episode 1 and 2 censored, and I watched episode 3 uncensored. And then I rewatched episode 1 and episode 2 uncensored. So I'm gonna talk about episode 3. But if you want a quick synopsis of what I think of episode 1 and episode 2, episode 1 is just a start, and episode 2 is when the big stuff happens. And here's the plot of the story. Our main character, I'm gonna call him main character because I forgot his name, and his name's hard to pronounce. Kiriga? Yeah, fuck him. He is a hero with the healer power, and every time he heals, he like feels the past trauma of like the entire of this entire person, and basically a sane person couldn't take that, and he faints every time he does it, or he feels extreme and immense pain. So the princess, the detestable woman, drugs him, so they're loyal to him, and makes him endure a lot of physical. He got pounded from behind, and women in the front, and they wanted his seed. That was episode 2. That's basically all the torture that happens to him. There's more, don't worry, there's more as the series goes on. But that's the torture that happens in that castle. So, all this happens, they fight the Demon Lord, and he gets a tolerance to the poison, to the drug, so he's not addicted to drugs anymore. And then he defeats the Demon Lord, grabs the philosopher, and says, "I'm gonna rewind time." And it's like, rewind time. Goes back in time when he was first, going to become a hero. And he doesn't remember anything, but with some plot convenience, his past self tells him, "Hey, go to the forest, and there will be a lake guardian." And then he encounters some words, and this lady comes and say, "I will grant you a wish." And he asks for some eye thing, and with the eye thing, he sees his entire past and goes like, "Oh, it is my revenge. It is revenge. This story is about revenge." To get ready for the eventual torture because he's gonna go through with it again. The difference this time is it's not gonna take him 6 years to get a tolerance to the poison. He eats mushrooms to get a tolerance to the poison, and instead of 6 years, it's 6 months, and in 6 months he wakes, and that's when we get to the infamous revenge, scene with the princess, where he takes the princess's face and stuff like that. So that's my recap of episode 1 and episode 2. There's stuff I went past, but I watched the censored version, so it cuts out a lot of it, but you get the context still, okay? That's what I will say about the censored version. It cuts out a lot of the scenes, but, a lot of the, full-on pounding scenes, but you still get the concept of it. And yeah, I did rewatch them later in the full uncensored, and yes, it's hard to watch, but I think it's harder to watch the first time than the second time. So let's go to episode 3, the one I actually watched, uncensored. It starts with the princess lady making our boy, the main character, with the drugs. She pours it down to her cooch, and she's like, "Come here, doggy, lick." And then he licks until she seeds? I think she pees and forces him to drink it. I don't know. There's a liquid that comes out and he's forced to drink it, which is just so nasty thinking about it. Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Then she kicks him to the floor and sees that he doesn't have erectile dysfunction, that he's up. The boy's up. So she kicks him straight in the jaw. Straight. Oh god. Straight. Ah! And it's funny thinking of it now, but I'm gonna be real, when I was describing that scene, it literally made me feel ill. It made me feel ill. It wasn't as ill watching it, but it made me feel ill just describing it. Drinking. Yeah. Ugh. God. Episode 3 gets worse. Episode 3 gets so much worse. Well, the first part of episode 3. The rest of it's not as bad, but we're talking about the first part. The start of it, the episode. This is all a flashback. And it's all his 3 friends. I think the 3 other heroes. So he leaves. He's walking out, stunting, like, a broken man would. And the sword girl, there's a sword hero, and she's in love with the princess. So she's incredibly jealous that this man, also she hates men, this lowly human that they've considered a dog, even dare touch her. So she beats him with a stick until it breaks. Multiple times. You see he has many bruises. Many bruises. And then she's like, wait, this mouth touched Lady's Flare. That's what her name was. Flare's privates. So she starts opening his mouth and just going to town like a good tortilla. She starts licking the inside of his mouth, and then starts rubbing her own gooch. Of course, I can't show any of these scenes, and I do not recommend you watch this at all. I'm gonna still watch it for your guys' sake. God, that was. And then she stops and vomits because she was licking the inside of his mouth, which is only saliva there. There's no residue of. Actually, he did drink it, so maybe. God, So then he walks back. He walks back to his tent, and he sees on the floor that there's flowers. And then there's a third hero I haven't talked about. There's this big dude, very big compared to our boy. He's like several times bigger, several, and he looks like an adult, where our boy looks like a child. I'm pretty sure he's 16. Where this big brooding man he's a man. This man's like around 30 or 25 or 29, somewhere around that. Like the 25s to 30 range. If he's younger, well, damn. So he loves our main character. And it's not the, love like, I love you, and it's innocent and wholesome. It's the awful love, the love of idolizing someone. Like, what do you mean? Oh, this is like, he likes how he looks. He thinks he's cute. But he will still beat him. Like, he tries to kiss him, and our main character literally doesn't want to. So he's like, he punches him and goes like, how dare you? I'm the only one that's nice to you. I'm the only one on your side. Why won't you love me back? And it's just gross. It's just gross watching this scene. Then he's like, no, I'm sorry, my love. And then rapes him. He rapes him. He full on rapes him. And then he's choking him. And then it goes like, oh, you're so beautiful, but with age, you will grow and wither. And get older and more disgusting. So, basically, he only likes him for his looks. I don't think there's any personality in a drugged up bag. He's on drugs, so he basically has no personality besides, I want drugs. Then he's like choking him. Well, why don't you die? And I will see this face forever. Which doesn't work because rotting still exists, buddy. And he stops. He doesn't kill him because, of course, but he stops right before he dies. It's like, I'm sorry, my love. Tomorrow I'll make it up to you. And he throws flowers on him, and that was the start of the episode. Yeah. With this context, I can understand why he doesn't resent. He's a psychopath. He's not a good person. In any sense of the word, he is nowhere near a good person. But I could care less who if the tortured is other torturers. I'm one of those people. I am petty. And so if I see a torturer get tortured, I don't have a problem. I'm more like, you do you, buddy. Go get him. Because it's more like, yeah, fuck them. Fuck them for doing that shit to you. Make them feel the pain 10 times over. I know that's a bad way of looking at life, but like, I'm not, bro. I'm a petty person. So I'm not one of those that are gonna say, bro, rape is bad. Rape is bad. I was about to say something stupid. Rape is bad. But this is an anime. These aren't real people, and I just enjoy the story. Well, I like revenge stories, I guess. I also don't like... I like main characters that kind of don't fit the mold of a main character. So, our main character, who's a psychopath dickbag that rapes people, is interesting. But don't follow him, because raping is just awful. Why would you rape people? Why would you rape people? Like I get it, but this is real life, so don't rape people if you were raped, okay? Just don't. Because raping people, if you were raped, doesn't excuse raping people. It really doesn't. But in a show where these people don't exist and aren't real, I could care less. I could care less. Like, I have no attachment to any of these. But real people, this is just my message of, don't rape people. Okay? This should be obvious. Just because you were raped doesn't give you an excuse to rape. He is a bad person. Don't. The whole point of these types of characters is that you shouldn't do what they do, or they're bad people because they're bad people. You gotta know that just because you might like the main character, or you might, there are enjoyable aspects to awful people in real life that do exist. Look at YouTube and all the scandals. You would have never thought that all these people were pedophiles. You might have liked their content, but they were pedophiles. And yeah, your enjoyment of someone shouldn't negate, yeah, just don't rape people. He's a bad person. I'm trying not to say something stupid, okay? That's the whole thing. I'm not trying to say something that might be twisted into thinking I support raping or support fucking pedophilia or support something else awful, or the torturing of people or the drugging of people. No. No. You gotta... So yes, I have watched Redo of a Healer. Do I like it? The parts that aren't the rape scenes and, you know, the you know, I find the main character fun. Honestly. Like, yeah, he's a bad person, but like, you know, it's like video games, just seeing what would happen. You know, it's like playing a video game and you going the genocide route. Yeah, like you going the genocide route, but not Undertale, okay? Undertale makes you feel bad for going the genocide route. Like a game that doesn't make you feel bad for going the genocide route. Like that. That's what this anime feels like. Playing a game and going the genocide route. You could do the nice route where you friend everyone and you do all the romance options, or you could kill everybody in your wake. And that's basically how this feels. That's basically how this feels. And if you treat it in that sense, it's not... It's gonna burn Twitter the moment Twitter finds out about this. Also, yes, those scenes are off-brand scenes, but I could care less. Like, I'm one of those people that, you know, movies and shows have full-on, you know, schmetz scenes. So an anime doing it doesn't really change anything for me, especially when it's kind of these types of scenes. I'm gonna be real, I don't like any of the tags. If we put tags in this, it's rape, reverse rape, orgy, torture, CBT. What else? There's a lot more. There's a lot more tags you could put this that I don't like and I hate. I haven't even talked about the rest of the episode. Do you even care about the rest of the episode? Like, that's what you all want to know. You want to know how I feel about, you know, that scene and the fucked up scenes. I don't know. The rest of the episode was fine. It was like a normal anime episode. Like, okay. If this anime didn't have, you know, and the whole point wasn't because he was raped, I think it would fly by the radar. But because, you know, this would be one of the shows that would be very forgettable, I guess. But the concept's kind of fresh. Is the concept kind of fresh? I don't remember many revenge animes about rape. Maybe I haven't watched enough animes. But maybe they didn't make enough splash like this one. If this anime didn't have the those scenes, I'm pretty sure it would have flowed by the radar, like, absolutely. And I can't wait for Twitter. I really don't. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. The moment I see, Twitter reacting to redo of a healer, I'm not watching it. Because I know how Twitter is gonna react. They're gonna be like, oh, this is awful. Why would you ever rape a woman? Or, bro, this anime should be cancelled because it's disgusting and promotes raping of women. Or raping of any kind. Or pedophilia. Which, I don't think so. I think because they're so disgusting, I'm sorry, if you can jack off to those scenes, I'ma be real. What are you made out of? You like ugly bastards, don't you? Don't you, if you can, knock one off to this one. Because it's so fucking nasty. Those scenes are legitimately gross, and just thinking about them is gross. Am I gonna watch more? Sure, I'll watch more. And I'll say what I have to say about it. But for now, I think I'm good for now. Episode 4 is not out. Sure, I'll watch it when it comes out. I like the revenge stuff. Oops. Voice correct. I like the revenge stuff. Revenge is cool. I freaking love revenge stories. Revenge stories are my favorite. No, revenge stories are not my favorite. Time loops are kind of my favorite. I really like time loop stories. But revenge is top 20. Top 20. I like revenge stories. So I'm gonna thank you guys for watching. Should you watch it? No. I'm gonna be real, no. If you do watch it, watch the censored version. Especially if you're squeamish. Because the censored version, you get the context, but you don't have to watch the disgusting scene. Simple as that. Don't watch the censored the uncensored version. Also, if you're wondering why people might be talking about a certain scene and you didn't see that scene, it's because you watched the censored version, and the reason you didn't see that scene is because it was uncensored and disgusting. So just don't watch it. But yeah, I'm gonna thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.